County line, Halloween is only a few weeks away. We're going to get you into the spirit with one local ghost story.
That's right, Liz, and if you're planning a Halloween party, the On the Road team will show you a great place to get some apples for bobbing.
The Sharon fire chief is here to give us some important tips on fire safety.
And we have a special Titantown Sports this week on location in Newcastle. We're live.
We're local.
The county line starts now. Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of the County Line. I'm Amanda Hogger.
And I'm Elizabeth Barry. The November 8th elections are quickly approaching and many local candidates are busy campaigning. The Southside Business Association is holding a Meet the Candidates program to introduce the public to some Lawrence County candidates. The candidates will have a chance to tell the audience about themselves and their qualifications. Candidates for Lawrence County Judge, Sheriff, District Attorney, and Newcastle City Council will all be present. The program will take place on Tuesday, October 25th at 6 p.m. in the Jameson South Conference Center. The event is free and open to the public.
Powerball officials say only one ticket matched all the numbers in Wednesday's record $340 million Powerball jackpot game. Someone purchased that ticket in Oregon. Here in Pennsylvania, 10 tickets won the new bonus prize that added around $650,000 to each Match 5 winner's base prize. According to state lottery officials, buying one Powerball ticket has a 1 in 146,107,962 chance of having the exact 6 numbers needed for the jackpot.
Some New Wilmington residents may need to hit the lottery. They can no longer depend on Westminster College students to rent out their apartments. Starting next fall, the school will break the long-standing tradition of allowing students to live off campus. The County Line's Catherine Larson has the details.
For 23 years now, New Wilmington residents Paul and Margaret McKinley have lovingly rented out their apartments nestled just above Pizza Joe's.
Actually, it's a course that the landlords are giving to students over and above the college education,
providing Westminster College students a place to call home. But after this year, students can't quite call it that. It's because the college is constructing new townhouses slated for completion sometime next year, demolishing off-campus housing options entirely. Alumnus Mayor Wendell Wagner says even though he enjoyed living off campus in this house on Waugh Avenue, he can't think of a better thing for the community.
We have a lot of people that work in Newcastle, Youngstown, in towns around us. And this is known quite well as a bedroom community, and we welcome families.
But even though Mayor Wendell Wagner thinks this is a great idea, the truth of the matter is most college renters think that practice is absurd.
Somewhere else the community maybe, and it's harder to get people interested when he knows that he had a handful of students to use.
I never knew whether the students still had their right to live on or off campus. Whatever. I think they deserve that right too.
For the County Line, I'm Catherine Larson.
President Williamson will have more details on the Townhouse agenda at the October 27th Fireside Chat.
And in the meantime, Pam Marlowe will help you stay up to date with other local news in this week's 88.9 on the County Line.
Titan Radio Digital 88.9 News brings you local news now.
2, 1. Good evening, I'm Pam Marlowe with your top stories of the week from Titan Radio News. A domestic dispute involving an area man firing shots at his wife and state police occurred earlier this week. 36-year-old Mark Wiley of New Wilmington allegedly grabbed a gun from his house, threatened to kill his wife as she ran out, and fired shots in her direction. When state police arrived, Wiley turned the gun on them and opened fire. He is charged with attempted homicide, aggravated and simple assault, terroristic threats, and reckless endangerment. Currently, Wiley sits in local custody with bonds set at $100,000. It's School Bus Safety Week, and parents share the responsibility of keeping their children safe and making them aware of what school bus rules are. PennDOT offers some tips on what to tell children to do. Make sure students are aware of danger zones of the bus, the front, sides, and rear. Never let your child walk behind the bus, and get children to the bus stop a few minutes early so they don't have to run. School buses aren't the only dangerous vehicles for children. Your own car could pose a major threat. A new report says that 80% of car crashes involving children happen within minutes from the home. Most of these accidents are during short trips to school or the store, when most students choose not to use seat belts for their children. Researchers hope these findings will encourage parents to use safety restraints on their children every time they get in the car. Governor Ed Rendell says Pennsylvania National Guard troops are leaving most of their important equipment overseas, causing a shortage here in our state. Equipment such as armored Humvees are being left in Iraq and Afghanistan. A government report says National Guard units all over the country are having the same problem. Sharon residents might finally get the bridge they have been waiting for since 2001. Work on a bridge that connects the south side of Sharon to the rest of the town has finally restarted. 4 years ago, a misalignment shut down the construction, and a legal battle over who would fix it delayed work. Construction restarted Tuesday, and the bridge should be completed by June 1st, 2006. That was your 89 on the County Line. Keep up to date every day with your local news by tuning in to Titan Radio Digital 88.9 FM. Stay tuned, more County Line is ahead.
Fall is a great time of year to get fresh fruits and vegetables from our area. This week, our On the Road team takes us to a place right around the corner where they put one fruit up on a throne.
Luke.
And I'm Stevie.
And we're on the road.
I don't stand a chance.
This week on the road, we're at Apple Castle, where everyone's hustling, because for them, this is their busiest time of year.
And we also found out that there's more to Apple Castle than just apples.
We grow peaches, nectarines, red raspberries, blueberries. I grow a lot of sweet corn in the summertime. You know, just trying to keep the orchard and the apples in top shape so that this time of year when we pick them, why they're nice, large, juicy, flavorful apples.
I met up with the owners of Apple Castle, who gave me a quick lesson in picking apples. Who knew it could be so hard?
Grab an apple and just yank it off because it pulls the stem out or breaks the spurs. Next year's apple is right here on that spur, so you try not to break that spur off. So what you try to do is to just roll the apple, and it comes off right at the top of the stem there. So put your right arm through there, your left arm through there.
I don't know what the big problem was, Stevie.
To the room, passing out $100 bills.
And the Apple Castle has everything from a homemade donut to a freshly picked apple.
Well, that's it for this week's On the Road.
We'll see you next time.
With Halloween quickly approaching, you might want to get out and buy your pumpkin now, because this year's crops won't be as much of a selection, at least here in western Pennsylvania. The summer's dry weather adversely affected many pumpkin crops, but luckily Mercer and Lawrence County's pumpkin crops are doing just fine.
The dry summer is not only affecting pumpkin crops, but also this season's fall colors. The fall leaves won't be as bright as usual. Master Gardener Bob Travis of the Lawrence County Extension Agency tells us the colors will be more amber and yellow this season instead of red. The warm weather of the summer brings out more yellow, dull colors than the bright, beautiful reds.
Fall is also a time for ghouls and goblins, and our area is no stranger to ghost stories. The covered bridge at McConnells Mill State Park in Lawrence County has quite a story of its own. Take a look at one local woman's supernatural experience.
Ever gotten that feeling where something just isn't right? That's this place all over. There's no possible way anything about this place can be natural.
Basically, there's two water witches that live in McConnells Mills. Basically all by the water, all by the bridge. There's one that's right on the bridge, and then there's one that's further down. Supposedly, the urban legend is when you sit on the bridge in your car and you turn your car off, lights and all, what will happen is, if you look in your rear view mirror, a ghost girl will appear in your back seat. You can't see her from the back, and when you turn around, she's not there. But slowly, your back seat starts to fill with water. This happened actually because there was a girl that died on the bridge in McConnells Mills when it first got broken. Girl was driving on the bridge going home. Ended up, something happened, boards broke on the bridge. She ended up, her car and her fell through the bridge. She beeped her horn 3 times before she finally hit the water. When the park ranger and the authorities ended up coming out there, they never found her body. They found the car and all her belongings. It's not the body. It ended up also with the urban legend, if you do sit on the bridge, in order to call her properly, you have to beep your horn 3 times. Which, the scary part is, this actually happened to me. Me and my friends, again, being stupid, decided we were going to sit on the bridge, which is really dangerous, you know, because it's a covered bridge and nobody knows if you're going or not. And as we're sitting there, I turn off my car, turn off the lights, beep my horn 3 times. I didn't even look in the rear view mirror. I had it pulled up so I couldn't even see it. My boyfriend at the time was looking at it, being a moron that he is. And then I heard from the back seat of my car, my best friend Amanda, screaming, "The car's wet, the car is wet, there's water in the back seat." I turned around and seen puddles of water all in the back seats of my car. And that's when I turned my car on very quickly and floored it out of McConnells Mills. To which later on we continued to ghost hunt, and we ended up getting lost and traveling 200 and some miles in 10 minutes, which we think was the water witch's fault.
If you've ever gotten that feeling where something just isn't right, that's this place all over.
In this week's County Close-Up, Catherine Larson talks fire safety with the Sharon Fire Chief. That's coming up right after this.
Crackhead, drug dealer, gang member, all kicked out of the community with the help of kids
like me.
You can help prevent crime. Call 1-800-722-TEENS to find out how.
It's time we're judged by what we do,
not how we look.
Hi everybody, this is Tim McGraw for RAD, recording artist, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. You know, I spend a lot of time on the road and I see some funny things out there, but one thing that's not so funny is someone who's about to drive drunk. So take the keys and be a friend, because friends don't let friends drive drunk.
I wasn't going to school because I was making money stealing cars. Well, I was 10 when I first got involved with drugs. I skipped school because, you know, nobody cared.
When I first got pregnant, school was not important to me, so I dropped out.
Well, if I don't finish school, then I can't go to college. I mean, that's the whole point of what I want to do with my life.
I still need to go to school to make it for myself.
I think I'm happier now. I know I'm happier now.
Well, it's about that time to turn back the clocks, and at the same time, it's time to also change your smoke detector. So joining us tonight on the County Close-Up is Sharon Fire Chief Terry Whalen. Thanks for coming.
Glad to be here.
We're talking tonight about fire safety, but with specific interest in the smoke detectors. And largely, let's start out with what kind should you buy?
Okay, well, there's actually two basic types. There's a photoelectric, and there's also ionization. Photoelectric is activated by interrupting a light, and ionization, which is your most common type, which you're going to find at most hardware stores, is actually there's two plates that are ionized, and the smoke interrupts those plates and causes the smoke detector to give off the alarm.
So which one's better to buy?
Well, actually, the manufacturers recommend both, only because the ionization type is good for where there's a lot of flame, a lot of kindling going on, and the photoelectric is good for smoldering fires, like say a mattress. If you have a smoker in the house, it'd be good to have the photoelectric type.
So how much do they run about?
They run anywhere from probably about $5, $10 up to about $30.
And which one's your best one? You want the $30 one, right?
Well, no, what you want, it's really not just about the price, it's about as long as it's UL approved, by the Underwriter Laboratories approved, which is basically anyone you're going to find on the market. I did bring a few samples tonight.
Show it one to us. What do you really want to do when you hook it up?
Okay, when you hook it up, the main thing is location. You want to put it on the ceiling in the center of a room. For the most part, this way it's equidistant from anywhere a fire might start, and it's just two screws applied to the base of it, and that's all there is to install it. It comes apart, and you put the screws in, you have your battery, and you put it back together, and there we
it's
go.
Going off. It's
Yeah.
going off indeed.
And it's quite timely we would have this today, actually, because we always say in the fire service, when it's time to change your clocks, change your battery, which would be twice a year. Any detector also would give off when there's a low signal. When the battery is weakening, it gives off a little, sounds like a bird chirping.
Heard?
That was actually
that
just the starting. Actually, here's the actual detector. Okay, I'll play it for you.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. But there are so many kinds on the market. Like I said, the main thing is UL approved. I did bring a few different types. This is the most common. This is just battery powered. I have another one here. This is battery powered also, but it also has a light in it. So when this smoke detector is activated, it actually gives off a light. And this way, like if you have like a hallway or a stairway, it would actually illumine that at the same time. What you're finding a lot nowadays in the new construction is we have a type here. It's a hardwired system. Hardwire means that it's wired directly into your house wiring system.
Okay.
And it also has a battery backup. So if one would fail, you have if the wiring fails, like say with a power outage, you have the battery that's going to go off. If your battery would go dead, you have the wire. The nice thing about the wiring ones are you can wire them all together, interconnect like up to 24.
And they're all going to go off at the same time.
At the same time, exactly.
Wow. Well, if you want to get some more information on fire alarms and all that, you're in luck, because I think it's this Monday that we're actually giving away, I believe, 2 smoke detectors on Titan Radio and 88.9 FM. In fact, we're giving away 2 on Liz and Kirsten's show from 7 to 9. And Chief Terry Whalen, thanks so much for being on the show, and stay tuned for more County Line after this.
I got a filet of sole and a cracked crab for Mr. Studied higher math back in school and now can order expensive lunches and charge it to the company.
Next office down the hall.
Well, thanks. Have a good one.
Ralph Hernandez, congratulations! You can now get college loans, government jobs, and job training. Men must register with Selective Service when they turn 18. Go to sss.gov or the post office.
It's the law.
Picture yourself at Westminster College. Westminster offers an educational experience that is second to none. We've been exceeding students' expectations for 150 years. Westminster combines the prestige of a national liberal arts college with the personal attention you deserve. Westminster is a national leader in graduation rate performance and is the most affordable national liberal arts college in Pennsylvania. Visit Westminster's beautiful 300-acre campus to experience an ideal learning environment. Succeed at Westminster College.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Titan Town Sports. I'm Justin Egley. Thanks for tuning in as we have a little bit of a different show for you tonight. I had to break out the high school jersey out of retirement because we're at Newcastle Y Zone for an NFL punt, pass, and kick event, and it goes from 8-year-olds to 15-year-olds, and so we'll have that in the show for you. We also have a kicker who just cannot get enough of kicking at the age of 72. DJ and I might have our own little punt, pass, and kick contest, and we'll have your best eggs of the week. But before we get all of that, let's go into a closer look on the event. DJ Yoakley has more.
Thanks, Justin. Welcome to my portion of the show, where today we're at the punt, pass, and kick competition. And here's how it's going to go. Keith Woods, one of the directors here for the punt, pass, and kick regional qualifier, is here, and he's going to teach us what exactly is the punt, pass, and kick. How do you do it? What are the rules? And how it's affected his family.
Okay, the punt, they can go back as far as they want for the punt. The only rule is they can't cross the line until after their foot meets the ball. The way they're measuring is, I might have to pull out a little bit. When the ball hits the side, like right here, what we do is we do a 90-degree to the tape, so you subtract off the distance. Okay. So you would only get credit for here to here. Oh, okay. In other words, if the closer to the tape you are, the more distance you get, obviously. Okay.
Like the punt?
The pass, the same thing. You can go back as far as you want. You can get a run for it. The only rule is you can't go past the line when you let go of the ball, and it's the same thing. You're trying to hit the tape as close as you can to the tape. Now the kick, you put the ball anywhere on the white line. Now there's two different tees that you use, but you kick the ball and you can cross the line as soon as you kick it. Okay. That doesn't matter, but it's the same thing. You have to hit that line as close as you can. Awesome. My son has won twice, and like I've always said, you might have a hard time getting your kid to come out and practice, but once they win and once they get on to Heinz Field now, we were lucky enough to go to Three Rivers and then Heinz Field. But once they win, that's the motivation. You'll never ever have to ask them to come out and practice again. I mean, they'll be bugging you to come out to practice. This year she gets me down, I don't want to say someone will up it. It's $100. $100 she gets me down to Heinz Field. Wow. But so far the money stays in my pocket, I guess.
Wow, DJ, that's pretty interesting how the rules actually go for this event. I thought that the power would have been more determining than the actual accuracy, but I guess actually has a big key in this.
Absolutely it does. And do you want to bet that I could beat you at this?
You think you can beat me at this?
Of course I can beat you. Look
All
at
right,
yourself.
what do you want to bet?
Okay, if I win,
interesting.
I'm the anchor next week for the county lawn.
Okay. Now, win, you have to do this package with a skirt on.
With a skirt?
With a skirt.
All right, I'm not going to lose.
All right, neither am I.
Hey,
Good
Justin,
luck.
The ball's in your court, buddy.
Why you got to be like that?
Because I want to.
Well, DJ goes take some much-needed practice. Get out of here. We have another Hall of Famer this week. This time he's a little older than Dick Butkus. Let's take a look at that right now. This is Steve Moser. He's a semi-pro football kicker for the Ohio Raiders. He's been at this for some time now.
Oh, shucks. Soccer ball I was starting to kick when I was about, I would say about eight, something like that. And football, I went into football in 1965, 66.
40 years later, and Steve is still playing. He is now 72 years old, the oldest kicker ever.
Well, everybody who asks me says, well, don't let that gray hair fool you. You would be amazed what he can do with gray hair.
Steve is still automatic from 40 yards and in. Only being from Heritage, he's gained attention from big TV stations such as Channel 4, Fox Sports Pittsburgh, WKBN, and even ESPN. The concentration camp survivor has also gained the attention of some young kickers around the area.
If I can contribute to kids, high schools, it doesn't matter which high school they go. If they are good athletes and they are good in school and classes, then I have a joy with it. So.
Throw it. Throw it to JR. Go back to JR. And he's going to score. Buggy's going to throw for a touchdown pass.
Second down and 3 from the 46. Buggy with it again, has the first down, makes a couple cuts.
Inside
going.
the 40.
Still
Oh,
going.
get out of here.
What a run by Sean Buggy. He broke at least 3 tackles on that touchdown run.
See Castillo on your screen there. Number 69 to try from 47 yards away.
He got it. He got it. Yes.
Hello, school record, Joe.
Now it's time for the competition. DJ and I are going to battle it out and do exactly what the kids just did. The first one up is punt, then we have to pass, then to kick. We have not warmed up at all, so please do not laugh if these are pretty bad. And I guess I get to go up first, so here goes. All right, well, that was the first 2 rounds. We have one more left, and that's kicking, and so far I'm beating DJ by six feet, so we'll see. He said he was a kicker in high school. We'll find out. Here's the final round. No way.
Okay, today we had a competition between Justin and DJ. DJ beat him in the punt. Justin beat him in the pass. The kick was the deciding factor. And since DJ choked, Justin wins. He had a total score of 279 feet to DJ's 230. So congratulations. You're moving on to the Steeler game. Good luck.
Thank you.
Shake Big Ben's hand.
Thank you very much for officiating. Oh, and that's why I'm the sports anchor and he's only the sports reporter. Hey, thanks for watching the show. Stay tuned, there's more county lines on the way.
There's a better way to have fun with history. Visit americaslibrary.gov. Log on, play around, learn something.
The Lawrence County Humane Society believes in the safety of spaying and neutering your animals. Spaying and neutering can have many long-term benefits.
We at the Lawrence County Humane Society believe that all animals should be spayed or neutered. Many reasons why, but the biggest reason is that they will be a happier, healthier pet. Also, it alleviates the overpopulation problem.
Getting your animals spayed and neutered is one huge step in making sure that more animals are healthy and find loving homes.
I'm the best thing you ever had. Only thing I'm guilty of is giving you too much love, making you crazy, making you rat, making me follow me, making me suspect. Seem to think I'm playing her game. Don't you know her? This is me.
There's a better way to have fun with history. Visit americaslibrary.gov. Log on, play around, learn something.
That does it for this week's edition of the County Line, but we'll be back next week with more of your local news.
That's right, and Elena Schuring will show us what all goes into making fresh apple cider, and Catherine Larson is going to investigate the parking problems here at Westminster College.
And our On the Road team will have more fall adventures, and Justin Egley will be back in the studio with Titan Town Sports. Make sure you tune in.
Don't forget to tune in to Titan Radio on Monday morning. We will be giving out these smoke detectors on the Mega Beast Monday Morning Show, 7 to 9, 88.9 FM. Have a great night.
Good night, everyone.